This video is going to be a quick little overview on Adobe Spark to get you started. When you open your Adobe Creative Cloud, you have your desktop apps, which is the software that gets loaded on your computer. You have some mobile apps and web, and you will find Spark on your computer under that web button. So just hit launch and it's going to open Spark in a web browser. You may be prompted to log in, and if so, use your LCISD email, which is your username at students.lcisd.org, and choose the school account. So once you log in, you're going to see that you have a bunch of different things up here that you can do. There's also a view all because there are more than these. Okay, so what we want to create is a flyer for this particular assignment. And if you look, you see social graphics. You have different ways to create graphics to grow your business. And if you scroll down here to teach and study, you're actually going to see one here, poster and flyer. And the poster obviously is going to be a bigger size. The flyer is a smaller size. On screen, it doesn't really matter so much, but if you were to want to print it out, then that does become an issue. Now, when we choose flyer, we're not wanting to use any of these templates. We're wanting to create something from scratch. Okay, so I am simply going to go in and click on these items and delete them. And that way we can get started. Here, there is an add button. This allows you to add text, a photo, an icon, logo. If I went ahead and chose photo, if I had a photo that I already owned or took or downloaded from a copyright-free website or public domain or Creative Commons, then I could click upload there. But Adobe also provides you with some photos here, and if you choose that, you can search. And I might actually, since I'm doing this on copyright, I might actually type in copyright and see what comes up. These are coming from a website called Unsplash, and I don't really see anything. Oh, down here, this is a Creative Commons. So if I was doing something on Creative Commons, that might be a place to look. This might be something that you have to do, that you have to go find a photo to be able to upload, maybe. But I'm just going to go ahead and pick this library of books, and I am going to... You can either choose to pin it to the background, which means that it's going to kind of fill your page, or you can choose to make it as a move freely graphic that you can resize and put wherever you want. Okay, so if I pinned it to the background, then it looks like that. Again, back with add, you can then add some text. And there is some pre-made text items that you can use, although depending on what you're doing, some of these might be good for maybe a title of your page. So if I was doing mine on, let's say, public domain, and then I could put explained. And that could be my title. And then I can move it around. I can resize the area that I want it to be. Over here, I can adjust the font. Okay, so if I didn't like the font that came up, it does have some fonts there I can use. And you do have to have it selected in order for you to see all this. And of course, you have font size. Okay, so if I wanted this public domain to stretch across, I'd need to reduce this a little bit more. And you can see how this is kind of just like trial and error getting it to fit, because now I also need those 2 dots to fit too. So maybe 62 might be good. And then if there's too much spacing, it can squish the letters together more. Okay, and then line spacing. So there's a little more line spacing up here than what's needed. So I'm probably going to bring that in a little bit too. Okay, so that allowed me to use one of those pre-made texts. Now, when you put in more text, then you probably just want to start from scratch and put in your text. And like I mentioned in the guidelines, you don't want to put a bunch of text or just copy and paste a bunch of text. So if I was going to put something here, I could definitely put that. I'd want to adjust that size, make it smaller, because obviously I have to fit more things on the page, etc. Think about your alignment too. And when you start putting in your information, you want things to be similar. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. There. Okay, so you could put in multiple text boxes. You could, if you wanted to put in another one just underneath that, you could just hit return and add something else. Okay, so that's how you would do that. Now, you can, once you get there, you can come over here and you can change the color. So if you wanted your text to be a different color, and of course make sure you're careful with your color so that it can be seen. If you wanted a shape behind your text, such as here, you could do that. Okay, and mine might be a little bit too big for that particular thing, but that's how it would do it. You can always undo it up here. You could, again, change fonts. You could give it some effects, which sometimes are meant better for headlines rather than text. And of course, there are some little style things here that it will go through to try to suggest things. Okay. So again, that'll be up to you as to how you do it, but you want to keep your poster clean so that it works. Now, you can put some icons in, okay? So notice that you have some shapes. So if you wanted to go in and find, like for law, there's always the gavel, the scale, etc. Okay, so you could put something in. You can change the color of your icon as well to make sure that it matches what you're doing, not that that matches. You can also resize them. There's lots of them there, okay? You can also, if you wanted to add a photo on top of your background, you could. So let's see if there is an actual photo of a gavel. I could do that. And I could make one that moves freely, and then I could have something on top. Okay, so a lot of stuff there that you can add in order to make your flyer. Now, when you're done, Spark does save this automatically as you go, but when you are completely done, you want to come here and choose download. You can download it as a PNG or a JPG. Either one is going to work. And hit download. It is going to call it My Post, and typically it automatically saves it to your downloads folder, usually. And yes, to downloads. There it is. Okay. And then if you click on it again, you can then rename it your period number. So if you're in first period, you'll put a 1. If you're in fifth period, you'll put a 5. Underscore your last name, not my last name, your last name, and then put copyright. And then this will be available for you to upload into your Canvas assignments. Also, go ahead and copy this into your OneDrive. So you can Control-C on it to copy or Control-X to cut. Go into your OneDrive after you have synced to it, and you can paste it in there with a Control-V.